Tanya, she's gone now.
Well, anyway, it's Saturday again. Saturday 3, I mean the podcast 3.
Part 3.
Part 3.
Continuous trilogy.
Okay. Yeah, I hope it won't be just a trilogy. I hope that will go on. As I was saying, I think it might become something big because we are expanding the number of topics, and actually
I keep getting girls waiting outside my house at the moment, so if you please just stop doing that. It's getting a bit weird at the moment. And Maxime, I saw you behind the tree as well, so just don't do that again.
The first rubric that we have, and I'm really planning to make it a regular one, is questions from the crowd. Look at this green bottle. So, I have a question. How many years has this thing been around?
19 months, I think it is.
Have you counted?
Look, I can't be completely accurate, and I haven't carbon dated it or anything, but a rough estimate is about 19 months. I think I remember saying 18 months to somebody about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this empty 7-Up bottle, plastic bottle, has been in your hands for 19 months.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you tried? Have you checked it? I mean, is there fungus in it?
No, there's nothing. I clean it. That's the thing.
Okay.
It's not just. I clean it. I can't say anything, but it's just water. Yeah.
All right, but
there
there's
as well,
your
isn't
saliva in as well.
Pretty healthy guy.
Okay.
I think.
Well, anyway, the question that our students keep asking is, why exactly have you been carrying this thing in everywhere? Oh, in the school with you to lessons, for example. Well, it's clear that you want to drink sometimes. I mean, why has it been around for such a long time?
A couple of reasons, really. I'm used to it, and I know that sounds strange, but when you work somewhere for a long time, you get attached to certain things, and it's a comfortable bottle. Ergonomically, it feels nice in my hand, and you might think, okay, well, why don't you just get another 7-Up bottle? But my answer to that would be that this will be around long after we're all dead, long after all our children and our children's children and our children's, you know what I'm getting at. And I'm not on an environmental crusade. I'm not trying to prove a point to anybody as such, but I don't like the waste factor of it. I wouldn't want to throw it away, get a new one every day, because I'd then become conscious of the absolute waste. And at my home at the moment, my girlfriend and I, we are trying to recycle. This is a shameless plug, if you don't mind. Let me get this right. First Sunday of every month, you can recycle all your plastics at Creative Space. And it's a worthwhile thing, it really is. It's what we call a fledgling movement at the moment. It's just starting out. And we've been doing it for a few months now. Every time we go, we see more and more people coming, you know. So recycling, some might say that it uses more energy to actually recycle than it does to produce new things. Well, that's fair enough. But the technology soon will be there whereby recycling actually almost pays for itself. But people should get into the mindset of reusing things. We're just too wasteful. I am. And so the bottle just serves as a reminder, I think, to me.
All right.
Happy?
Good.
I'm never answering that again.
You don't have to. Albert. Oh, by the way, did you understand the reference?
Albert.
Gore.
No.
Okay. Well, ex-vice
I was
president.
thinking Einstein there for a minute.
Albert. No, I don't think that Einstein was environmentally conscious.
No.
I mean Albert Gore.
Oh, Al Gore. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Was he Al?
He was
Albert. Oh.
I mean, probably his given name is Albert, but he's commonly
not
known as
Alfonso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aloysius or something like that.
He's made fun of. I mean, not very often, and he's been made fun of in various TV
South
shows.
Park.
South Park all the time.
Killed him.
That's amazing. Anyway,
Serial.
yes.
Super serial.
Are you serial?
What was it? Man, Bear, Pig.
Man, Bear, Pig. Yeah.
Watch that episode, South Park.
One of the early
Man, Bear,
episodes.
Pig. Very good. If you haven't seen it, anyway.
Yeah. All right. Another question that people keep asking, not only our students, like every person I meet, and they learn that you are still here in Russia. And
Still here.
Oh yeah. Is it still there? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. How's this Russian?
Yeah, and but actually people care and they want to know why you still don't speak Russian.
Sure. I do get asked this question very often, especially once people realise that I've been here for quite a long time. And I'll answer it as candidly as I can. First thing I want to make clear is that it's not in any way meant to be insulting to either, I suppose, Russian language or Russian culture. It's not a complete ignorance, first of all. I've got a lot of respect for Russian life and what have you, otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. But to attack the main part of the question, really it's a good mixture of not needing to, which I really don't, simply because a lot of people, not a huge amount, but a lot of people here do have a base level of English, which is frankly enough for me to get by, and I like that. The other aspect to it is that in not speaking the native language, in some way I live a bubble existence. I live in my own little world, and you might think, possibly quite rightly, well, that must be very limiting, and in some ways it is, but in some ways it's very rewarding as well, in that I don't have to watch Russian television, I don't have to read newspapers, I don't have to listen to people's irritating conversations as I'm walking down the street. I can more or less pick and choose what I want in terms of media, and that is actually quite liberating in its own way. The final part of my explanation for this is just sheer good old-fashioned slight laziness, really. And I've never been good with foreign languages. I studied French and Spanish for a year at school, and just never really saw the need to take them any further. I'm not interested in that way. It's as simple as that. And also, this chap here, I remember not long after I'd first started, I do remember, and I'm not springing this on you right now, believe me, but I do remember you saying it would be, and this is very important actually, this reason. I do remember you saying
I know what you will say.
Yeah, and actually this has been my cop-out excuse, which I haven't used for quite a long time, that I will be much more effective in the classroom without Russian.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm doing you guys a favour when you think about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Another question is about your new friend, new
Okay.
high-tech friend, which is Windows Phone. Because we've got a number of people who are totally against Windows.
Maxim Zhenya. Sorry, I don't know if you got that.
Yeah, it's like it's a shout out to Maxim and Zhenya, who are into Linux.
This is true. Max and Zhenya, first of all, we don't have enough time to answer this question in the level of detail that you guys probably need, so we'll have to I don't know, set aside another time for this one. But
separate podcast.
Yeah. But look, frankly, the reason I got this, I'll show you it if you like.
By the way, no one has paid us for that.
Yeah, this is not a Microsoft plug or anything like that. There it is. It's a Nokia Lumia. I got it because of this thing on the back. I don't know if you can see the profile there.
What is it?
It's the camera.
Okay.
Really. Yeah. It's a monster. It's about 40 megapixels or so. Who needs 40 megapixels?
Probably you.
Well, I just wanted the biggest thing, I guess. And it just happened to have the Windows operating system. No, you are quite techie, aren't you? I'm not so techie that I'll avoid a phone just based on its operating system. I don't like Apple, but that's for different reasons. But the Windows Phone, it's good, it's simple. For a simple person like me, you can't make too many mistakes with it. And actually the UI, the user interface, is completely different to anything that I've used before, and at the moment is a nice change. It is slightly limited compared with Apple, iOS and Android, but you know it's a young system. It's improving constantly, more and more apps. But yeah, so that's why really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good explanation.
Before we go on, I do appreciate and I understand the questions for me, but there are two in this podcast, everybody. So do feel free to.
I have a simple explanation about that.
Right.
I sometimes burst into monologues, which is at the end of the lesson, especially like when all is done. Sometimes in the middle of the class as well, yeah. But actually, it definitely increases my teacher talking time. But I mean, if there is a moment when students have spoken enough, I might, I might be triggered by someone. Like there are some keywords you can trigger me, and there is a limited number of these words, but now if you want to destroy my lesson, just name one of these things, like I don't know, South Park, for example, or like South Park.
George A. Romero sucks. That's what you want to say.
Come on.
See?
Yeah.
It works.
Well, the second word the second topic that would trigger my stream of consciousness. So I will immediately splash my consciousness. Well, everything I have in my head onto students. It will be, oh, what's your favorite movie? Never do that, please. I won't shut up for an hour or two or more. So never ask me about films.
Unless you are committed and you've got time. Yeah.
Yes. And there is never enough time, so please don't, and music of course, never ask me about music, movies, and what was the first thing, whatever. And you see, I don't remember things, but that's why people don't normally ask me questions, because I have already answered, but most of them during lessons. All right, next one. I think the last question, which will be the most complicated one, or maybe the most unusual one. I mean, because it's a hypothetical question. If you could take a piece of land, separated from an existing state or country, where would it be?
Well, to give a cynical answer to this, I'd have to say a large part of Saudi Arabia, simply because, well, we all know what's sitting underneath Saudi Arabia at the moment. Lots of the black gold. And the evil person inside of me wants to control it and sell it and not give it to some and give lots to others. You see what I mean?
So Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, but that's purely economically. But if I'm thinking just in terms of my own enjoyment, probably the what?
Keep talking.
Probably the
Open the door.
the west coast of the US.
You should close yourself, lock yourself.
Okay, keep talking.
The west coast of the US. Okay, this is getting a bit strange now. Yeah, the west coast of the US because it's a beautiful part of the world, and the property values are probably very, very high. Again, I'm thinking cynically about this. So, Misha, what would you like to choose? Well, I don't know, Tom. I don't know. Probably somewhere where... Do you know what? I can't even think of something funny to say for that one. He's going to cut this out anyway. I hope he does. If he doesn't, we're not going to be friends anymore.
So, today's grammar lesson will be present perfect. It's always a pain in the neck for most of the learners, so we'll try to demonstrate how it works. There are a number of meanings of present perfect, and one of the meanings, one of the functions is experience. When you ask someone about his or her experience, what he or she has done in life. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to demonstrate how it works. Tom and I will ask each other about some weird experiences that we've had or we haven't had.
Okay.
Right. Can I have the questions?
Yes. Misha, have you ever been in a fist fight?
Yes, I have, a number of times. The last time I did it was approximately around 15 or 17 years ago, in fact. But it was at school, which was a real fist fight, in fact. Okay. Oh. Okay. Have you ever cried in public and embarrassed yourself?
Oh, God. No. To be honest with you, no, I haven't. I can't think that I have. I've cried at home in front of friends and family. But
that's in public, so to say.
Well, not in front of general random public, but yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, okay. So yes, I have. I cried.
Okay. When did it happen?
It happened. Let me think. It was when I was at university, and oh God, oh excuse me, can't blaspheme on.
On the podcast, you can do anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I remember now. Yes, when England won the Rugby World Cup for the first time. These were tears of joy, tears of happiness.
But you can't embarrass yourself with tears of joy.
Well, for a man, it was pretty embarrassing.
Okay. Your question.
All right. Have you ever met a celebrity?
Okay. Well, it depends on the celebrity. I've met a number of musicians from Germany, for example, because our band played before them, and drum.
Oh, you opened for?
Yeah, opened for a number of acts and directorings.
Maybe you should just qualify this a little bit. Misha's style of music is very specific, I guess, is the best way to say it. For those of you that don't know the type of stuff that he's into, he's not your average Britney Spears fan.
No.
Let's put it that way.
Okay, so I couldn't I couldn't bump into Britney Spears, even if I wanted to. Alrighty, have you ever driven a sports car?
Have I ever driven a sports car? Yes, I have.
When did it happen?
It happened on a few occasions in Hong Kong, where I grew up. My father had a series of quite nice sports cars as I was growing up, and I shouldn't actually admit this because he actually watches this. Occasionally when he was out of the country, I would take them for a spin,
Okay.
as they say. But I should say I was licensed.
Okay.
You know, but probably not insured. That's the thing.
But it wasn't the situation like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No. I never trashed the thing. No.
But I mean, Cameron, what's this character's name? Cameron, if I'm not mistaken. His father was obsessed with one particular car.
It was a Ferrari.
Yeah,
a red
it
Ferrari
was
that
like
they had.
1960s Ferrari.
Yeah,
I think.
that's right.
And he was into it so that he loved it more than his family, and he I guess never drove it at all. When at the end of the movie, for those of you who haven't seen this brilliant comedy, Cameron, his son, he actually trashed the car because he was so furious with his dad. Yeah, but you haven't had this thing with your dad. I mean,
No.
he has never been obsessed.
No.
with
He's got his, I suppose, priorities.
Okay.
You know, they were reasonably expensive cars. Nothing massive, not compared with some of the Porsche Cayennes.
Can you name the make?
Yeah, well, it was an Acura NSX, which I particularly remember, which is a...
Acura, those days, I thought it was a relatively new one. I mean, was it...
Acura still exists as a brand.
Well, it does. I
it's
mean...
the Lexus, it's what Lexus is to Toyota.
This is Honda. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
exactly. Yeah, Honda. But the particular car that he had was, as far as I remember, some kind of limited edition model. So I was aware of this, but I did. I really hope he's not watching this.
You can ask for forgiveness.
Or a lot of editing, I think. Yeah, I did. I drove it into. We were coming down this kind of, sort of incline, and it was like a mini valley, and during quite a severe rainstorm. And those of you that drive low cars here know that it's not a good idea to be driving a low-profile car in the wet. And anyway, I just drove this thing, and I completely misjudged the depth of the water. I thought it was maybe 2 or 3 inches deep, but it wasn't. It was about 1.5 feet, which is about that much. And it lasted a long time, and it flooded the engine after about 3 or 4 seconds of driving through, and so we were stranded, and of course water's pouring into the car. Everything's soaked. The engine management system's just been fried completely. That cost me quite a lot of money to fix. Luckily, he was out of the country at the time. Really. Yeah, so I've driven a couple of sports cars.
Okay, so I hope that has been a nice demonstration for you. But you may have noticed one thing: never use present perfect with when. If you say when, if you ask a question with when, you can never say when have you blah blah blah, right? So you would normally say,
have you?
No, I mean,
What?
yeah, like after when, I mean...
Did.
Absolutely. So when did you do this or that? When did you fall in love for the first time or something like that? So never use when with present perfect. That's one of the things. And if you ask about the person's experience, have you done this, have you done that? Yeah, it's present perfect. Right, moving on to the next one. And the next one is restaurant review. So we have recently visited a number of places for the first time. Experience again, sort of close. No, it's not experience. Anyway, I'd like to talk about a beer place called Czeszka, like a Czech woman. For those of you who are not familiar, I think so. At least this is the way Russians translate that. And you?
A new place that I am visiting quite a lot these days, called Kalbar, which, excuse my bad Russian, but I think that translates as Cordova, is it?
No, cow bar.
Just cow.
A cow, yes.
Yeah, cow, Cordova. Yeah, okay. And you can find it. Are we allowed to give not addresses, but
location.
like locations?
Yeah. No one has paid us for this.
Yeah,
one,
nothing.
Maybe in the future someone will.
Yeah, the both places Misha and I are talking about, they're very close to each other.
In the
Actually,
same basically area.
what seems to be becoming the Soho of Rostov,
Yeah.
I think, just around Gazetny Street.
Yeah, it's the former tobacco factory, which is now I don't know, is now infested with offices, if you can say that, and various types of places. Restaurants, bars, gyms, and whatnot. So anyway, I visited this place. I think a couple of weeks ago.
It was last week.
Last week.
It was last week. Yes.
So I visited this place last week, and when I entered the place, I was a bit, startled.
Why?
Because I hadn't expected it to be so conventional. Because I had a feeling that, well, based on the name, it was supposed to have some,
Theme.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it has none. And my first impression was like, oh my god, what is it? Because the interior is horrible.
It's sorry to interrupt. It's what we call no frills.
Yes.
Which just means essentially nothing extra. The basics of everything.
Yeah, I don't mean that the place is bad. You must understand. The place is all right, but I mean it has no except I'd say, but for the tanks, beer tanks behind the window, which you would normally see in Czech Republic in their beer restaurants who brew beer themselves. But this is basically it.
We describe it, I've been there a couple of times, you describe it as a what you see is what you get kind of place.
Sort of, yes. But still, I would prefer, there is no, it's not cozy at all. And the atmosphere is something that I would call any place in Rostov, absolutely. So there is a huge screen with football in it, a lot of overweight males sucking beer.
Is it fair to compare it to Pinta? Because I mean that's
this is
the
exactly
feeling
what
I get.
Exactly the same feeling. Yeah. Yes. So beer is 3 stars out of 5. Not too bad, but not exceptional. And food is okay. Service pretty good, like 4 stars out of 5. I would say. Food and service. Well, these are the things which are pretty good, in fact. So
It's just to finish on this place Misha's talking about. I've been there a few times because it's actually very close to where I live, and it's very hit and miss in almost every respect. I mean, I have heard of people that have been there and, for example, been sick after. But I've also heard of people that have come away and said, yeah, this place is really good. And I've had mixed experiences there. So I don't know how that can be, really, because as a restaurateur, you want consistency. So I don't know exactly how the management operates. But it's not saying this place is bad. Give it a try. It's something slightly different. It's certainly where they make the beer just before you go in, just as a visual spectacle, it's quite interesting to look at. You don't often see it, so check it out.
Yeah, unfortunately we've got a couple of minutes left. So speaking about Kalbar.
Okay, Kalbar. In a couple of minutes, my new favourite place in Rostov. Really good place. As you might be able to guess, it serves a lot of meat-based dishes. It's the only place in the world, in fact, where I've ever had bull's testicles. Яйца?
Yes.
По-русски?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And they were wonderful. Once you get past the I suppose grossness of the thought of it, all about texture. He's giggling now. Great staff, really interesting restaurant. Actually, when you go into it, it's new. It's been open for a couple of weeks. They're still ironing out some, I suppose, decorative issues, that kind of thing. But really, really worth a try. Decent prices and a good, for those of you that like your beer, a good extensive beer menu. So check it out.
Okay. Let's quickly go over what's in your player, or what's in your playlist now.
Right. Yeah, this is a tough one. For those of you that saw the podcast where we talked about the music, you may have guessed my music is, in a way, like Misha's, quite specific. It's very, very electronic. So I won't bore you with that. But I have been listening to a new band recently called, well, they're not new, have 3 albums, but their name is Steel Panther, and they're what we called a mock rock band. They're a throwback to all the bands in the mid to late 80s, like Guns N' Roses, Poison. They've got big hair, they wear leopard skin trousers, and musically they are fantastic. I really like them. Lyrically they are obscene, quite frankly, but
which makes it an amazing material, which makes the material so attractive, because it's so much fun.
It's fun. You can't take it seriously. They're not singing about serious things. It's all a joke. But the songwriter Michael Starr, he actually has a PhD in English literature. So these are not stupid people. But Steel Panther, have a listen. Yeah. And in your player?
Yeah, definitely Tambourine. Tambourine is an American band. It's what you call, this is what you call indie music, but it's more of a shoegaze, and they are like the grandchildren of Cocteau Twins. But the sound is more kind of the sound is much heavier, but still I totally love their sound, and the approach to making this kind of retro-ish sound, but which still sounds quite modern. And their album Waves of 2010, if I'm not mistaken, this is just amazing. One more thing that's in my playlist, like for quite a while, it has been Purity Ring. Yeah, it's a Canadian duo, a dream pop duo.
A what?
A dream pop.
Okay.
But some people class it as dubstep, but there's no dubstep there. It's just pure dream pop, indie pop and stuff. Heavily looped, sampled. So again, if you noticed it with Fantagram, that they're using samples to play melodies on them. So these guys have arrangements based solely on rhythm and loads of samples. So melodies are played with loads of samples, and twined variously. Purity Ring, that's great. So 2012 is the album. Check this out. So that's it for today. See you next time.
Cool. Take care, everybody. When are you posting this? Soon?
Thursday.
Have good May holidays, everybody.
May holidays.
Try and relax. And
Thursday's the 1st of May.
Shushlik. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. I see dead people all the time.